everything that we're doing as an ummah and even the Kafirs, why hasn't punishment come to us?
Because of the Prophet ﷺ. Just because of him. Just because of him. He protects us. Huge blessing in belonging to his ummah. Yes, even the unbelievers. Do you understand why we must love him? What are all these teachings about? Telling you to love me or to this person? It is all pointing to our Prophet ﷺ. If you're not living your life according to the laws and the sunnahs of Allah and his Prophet, you are only bounding towards hellfire. What is moving your heart? The Prophet says, if you don't have complete faith, you cannot enter into paradise. And your faith is not complete until you make the Prophet to be the one that you love most, more than anything else. And the love is not just a feeling you have in your heart, but anything that is in your heart, it has to pump through the body. It has to motorize you. You have to move your life. Everything you touch now is going to be from those teachings and reflection of the prophetic light. It's just because of him. And because of him, and because of the other beloved ones of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his inheritors. Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so many mercies in this nation. These are the big guns, we may say. The other things, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if it's not because of the old men, old people, and the babies, and the young lambs, Allah would not even send down a drop of rain to this world. So Allah does things because of the reason of other people, other ones. So how much more thankfulness we have to show now. Do you understand? This ummah used to be called Ahl Sunnat. And the biggest sunnat is having a Khalifa. It is the biggest sunnat. Because the Khalifa is the one who's representing the Prophet, continuing that mission. That they even held off his funeral and other things to elect him. But they've taken away our Khalifa, they wrapped up the flag, and they've brainwashed Muslims to think, no, you don't need a Khalifa. You can still practice Islam. You don't need an ummah because you have nations, you have republics, and you have this and you have that. Curse falling from that time until now. Bloodshed non-stop. Unbelievers, they don't wake up. We may say it's because they don't know too much. And what happened to the Muslims? How did we come to this situation? It's not because we don't know the laws of Islam. It's not because we don't know the history of the Prophet. It's not because we don't know how to read Quran and have the knowledge of Islam. We have this. It's not because we don't have money or intelligence or technology or numbers. We have all of this. But because our heart is missing. Our heart, the throne of Allah, we have put the love of dunya into our hearts. The Khalifas make sure people don't love dunya. And that is what the Prophet ﷺ has said, Hubub dunya. I fear for my nation more than anything else, the love of this world and the fear of death. People used to live for Islam and to bring down kufr, and they want to die for that reason. Now people don't live for Islam, they live for themselves, their families, happiness, the pursuit of happiness. And in that pursuit, they don't want to die. So their reason is, again, this world. Believers used to be, even in the time of the Khilafat, even the time, they can't wait to meet Allah. Everything is good. We have a Khalifa, we have Shariat ruling and Tariqat and everything. But we can't wait to meet Allah. Believers now, Muslims now, they hate death. They don't want to meet Allah. So much life we have. And this is us with all the knowledge of all the evil and bloodshed that is happening to us right now. No one can say, oh, I don't know this is a bad place to live in. I didn't know Muslims are getting massacred like this. I don't know that non-Muslims are getting massacred like this. I don't know this world is being destroyed from the air to the earth to the skies and everything. No one can say that. We know all this. Yet our hearts have become dead. We see and we don't give a... we don't care. How it gets to be that we don't care. That's when the spirituality is missing. And they make us to love dunya, love dunya. I love my children, I'm not loving dunya. Anything that distracts you from Allah, that is your dunya. I love my husband, I love my wife, is dunya. You must love your children for Allah's sake, and there are conditions. You must love your husband, yes. You must love your wives, yes. But there are conditions. You cannot love them that the world is saying you must love them like that. You cannot love them the way society is saying you have to love them like that. You cannot love them the way that your ego wants to love them. You cannot, because they don't belong to you. You don't belong to you. You have been created, we are creatures, and Allah is saying, live like this. You will come back to me clean. If you don't, you're going to be worse than the animals, because the animals, all animals, fulfill the reason of their creation. No chicken ever says, I want to be a duck. I'm chicken outside, but inside I'm really a duck. Don't body shame me. No cat ever says, I'm a dog. No cow ever says, I'm a bird. None. They all submit. And they all live to the perfection of their creation. Mankind, we have been created for a different reason. We have been created to know Allah and to worship Him. You run away from this reason of creation, is worse than a chicken wanting to be a duck. You run away from that reason, you are worse than animals. Do you understand? You live for that reason, you're running for that reason, to know Allah and to worship Him, you'll be higher than the angels. Because Allah has only created us to know Him and to worship Him and to discover Him and to find Him. He did not create the angels or the animals to do that, to know Him. Hazrati Insan. But Hazrati Insan is busy with what? Eating and drinking and marrying, collecting money, fighting with each other, fitna non-stop. Today's people, they don't even know Allah, Allah, you see. We have so much and Allah has taken away peace and has given anxiety to everyone. Now even if they have everything, their hearts are shaking, they cannot enjoy. Those of you who think that you have, don't give in. Don't say just because a kafir, you have this. Say, no, I'm not. Fight against it. Saying that I'm just a little bit nervous, but I'm nervous because I want my Lord to be happy with me. Turn that to your Lord and to your Prophet. You're not spinning it. It is coming from Allah. It's not just a spin. It is coming from Allah. How many people, they have a headache and they say, Ya Rabbi, you're punishing me with this headache. I deserve to be completely in Jahannam, but you just give me this headache to clean me. Alhamdulillah. Forgive me, give me the strength. They get a little bit of headache, first thing they say, doctor. Then it's a disaster. Then, very far away from Allah, then they're going to say, oh, they go online, headache means you get this, 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 and this, and this, and it gets worse and worse. Yes? No peace. You have everything, but no peace. That's one of the signs of Qiyamah, because Jibreel alayhi salam will take away peace from this world. Run to people who have peace. And guess what? They're not your families anymore. They're not your countrymen anymore. They're not your ethnicity anymore. These lost treasures now is scattered everywhere. And you're not going to find the traditional means of doing it. This is the secret now. The lost treasures now. Find those. Learn from them. Be with the Salihin. Inshallah. As you like. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum.